Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of our NASCAR Heat 5 career mode here on the channel. I hope you're all having a great day. Today we're at Bristol Motor Speedway coming off of a shocking run to kick off the short track swing in Richmond. A top 10 effort there, which was extremely unexpected for, my pace when it usually comes to a track like Richmond, which, increases my confidence for this 16 Top Golf machine coming into Bristol, a track that I've had a lot of success at in past NASCAR Heat 5 series. So I'm hopeful we might even have a chance to pick up win number 1 here today in Bristol. And if not today, I've got my calendar out and Martinsville is circled on that one because Martinsville historically a great track for myself. So we'll see what we can pull off there. We roll into the Bristol weekend getting some practice underway here with a goal of a 15.867 as the bar being set to reach here in practice. And I would actually beat that lap quite easily. We would be able to run a 15.864, so I say easily. We beat it by like 3/1000ths of a second, so nothing really special there, but just trying to get a feel for passing here on the outside, on the inside. I prefer to run the top in Bristol. I prefer to run the top anywhere. But yeah, we're definitely going to have some moments where we're going to be forced down to the inside if we're going to want to make some passes here on this track. So it'll be interesting to kind of balance out the two lanes and try to make them work. But yeah, did 7 laps of practice. The first 3 were the quickest. It got a little bit slower, but then I picked it up on that last lap now as we would focus in on our qualifying attempt. We've had some ups and downs so far this season in qualifying, hoping though for a really good effort here. Of course, we had that pole in Mid-Ohio. What can we do here though in Bristol? Through 1 and 2, right up towards that outside wall, kind of a diamond effect there in the corner, not going way too low on the exit though, but we enter a little bit low, go high, right up to the wall, then we of course arc it back down as much as we can. Now to turn 4 to the line, we beat the goal with a 15.7. It's P8 here in Bristol. Pretty happy actually with that. That's a very solid qualifying effort now, and of course that leaves the question, where is everybody else now? We'll go from the bottom of the grid. Trevor Bayne at the bottom, Shane Van Gisbergen back in the field again, 33rd. Kyle Busch with another rough starting position, as well as you can see Chase Elliott on pole over Bell, Byron LaJoy, and Hamlin. Now going into this weekend, there is an announcement on the way from Tony Stewart coming in the pre-show, but before we do that, here's the Xfinity Series. Derek Kraus, for a colleague, picked up the win in Martinsville. Xfinity there a week earlier than the Cup Series SVG in P17, as you see the rest of the order there. But let's go to the pre-show where Stewart Haas Racing is set to share an announcement.
We at Stewart Haas Racing put performance first, and sometimes that comes with tough decisions. Today, we are announcing that we will be downsizing to a 2-car team following the 2024 season. This will give us the best chance to get this team back to where it needs to be.
Tony, do you know who your drivers will be then for next year?
Well, Steve, it's simple. The top 2 drivers in points for us will stay, and the bottom 2 will be departing the team.
And what about the charters? Have you guys found any buyers yet?
We're in deep talks with a few potential teams. We will share when the timing is right for everyone.
All right, team, let's have fun today. Thank you for the car. It was great in qualifying, great in practice. Let's continue that today.
Yep, let's have a good day out there. We'll work on it all day.
You may notice a new voice for the crew chief. So the site I used for the AI voice literally took the one I was using out. So I can't use that one anymore. We got this one now. So just ignore that. Stewart Haas Racing makes the announcement, of course, that 2 of their cars are going to be getting eliminated, basically, and they will be going back to a 2-car team following this season. And, of course, that means 2 charters will be sold, and the 2 best finishers in points for Stewart Haas this season will keep their rides going into the Season 3 of the career mode, if there is a Season 3. Chase Elliott leads the field to the green flag here from Bristol Motor Speedway. It's been a heck of a start to a season for that number 9 team. 3 wins already. Can he make it 4 today? Kyle Larson right there on the inside of the 17 of Chris Buescher. Chris Buescher hasn't won since 2022 at this very track, of course, a part of this career mode storyline that is. Now, as you're going to see him migrate down to the inside, we got Corey LaJoy for the Andretti Global team right here just in front of us now as he was fading backwards already on this outside. Eric Jones up my inside. Eric Jones in that Legacy Motor Club team has been really strong when it comes to short track racing here. And speaking of short track racing, another one that's been strong, Ryan Preece. He was good in Richmond. He's good to kick off the day here in this 30-lap opening stage now into the top 10 as I would get down to the inside and try to follow this 41 a little bit forward now. We're on the inside of the 27 of Corey LaJoy, and I got a mirror full of Ross Chastain, who's trying to move his way forward in that number 1 Busch machine. machine for Trackhouse Racing. Already a win on this season for him, as we look to wait and see what his teammate of Daniel Suarez can put up on the board. We get clear of the 27. A little bit of contact was involved on that, but we continue on this inside. And we're now passing the 41 Orion Priest. We're to the inside of Eric Jones as well, and that 7-11 machine that he's driving this weekend. He would pin me down quite hard, but eventually we do get clear of him up into P7. But now look who's coming up behind us. It's Joey Logano, who's absolutely just on the move early on here, and he would look up my inside just about on the exit of 4, and eventually, as we come to lap 8, approaching lap 9 through 3 and 4, as I get up to the lane I'm most comfortable with, Logano just looks to the inside, and he's basically just going to make an easy pass here as we go down into turn 1. We've run down the 20 of Christopher Bell. He had a decent start, but fading backwards. It's been a while since he's gone to victory lane. Of course, the regular season champion from last season. It quite hasn't gone the way he would like things to have gone ever since he won that regular season championship, really. And of course, didn't have a very strong playoff run. Still made it very far, of course, and you know, fought for a championship. Just wasn't able to be successful in the end. It was Martin Truex Jr. That was able to win that championship, as he's still chasing that first win of this season. It's still so early in the season. The season is very young. We got a long way to go. A lot of regular season racing to go before we even have to think about the playoffs. And we are running nice and consistently in the top 10 just about week after week, doing it again today. So I have no concerns about making the playoffs, of course, unless we see a whole bunch of different winners, which I just don't expect to see. Chase Elliott, though, out in front early on here, still in Bristol, dominating this first and opening stage after qualifying on pole. We're here with Hamlin and Logano, a bit of contact with Hamlin on the exit of 4. That sends him sliding through 1 and 2. He saves it. A little bit of contact with the 22 after that. That was all on me, not trying to run into the side of the 11. He just checked up behind the 24, and I just miscalculated it and drove up into the left rear of him. That was 100% my fault, but that 24 was off the pace. He's running great with 11 to go on the stage. He's running 4th position right now. 300 cars in the top 5, but we are going to change that now. We're going to pass that 24 and go and take that 4th position, so I guess there's still 3 HMS cars in the top 5. Alex Bowman as well, not far behind. We've seen the continuous trend. I talked about it before. Bowman, really good at the start of these races for about the first stage or 2, and then in that last half, he just continues to fade. Can he finally overcome that? We'll have to wait and see, but lap traffic starting to come into the mix here late in stage 1 up the inside. Now at the 17, we're going to use the LMC car. 44, Trevor Bayne as a pick to be able to pass the 17, if I don't wreck, that is, because I nearly lost it right there, as the car was starting to get pretty loose on the long run. Very similar to what we were dealing with in Richmond, but we would now run down Kyle Larson for 2nd place with 5 to go on the stage. Chase Elliott, engulfed in traffic, but he should be okay to hang on. He's too far down the road, even with the lap traffic holding him up, for me to get there, because I had to navigate through some cars as well. So I bring the 17 and the 5 with me here through the traffic. We get clear of it all. So the last couple laps, so approaching the final lap, we approach the 23 of Bubba Wallace, the Atlanta winner, sucking hard today, 34th, and unfortunately he was planted right on my nose, so that opened the door for Busher to pass me back. LaJoy had gotten past Larson and now up to 4th for him, as the white flag's in the air for stage number 1. Chase Elliott, an absolute dominant season it has been so far for him, and he rounds 3 and 4. He's going to be able to pick up the stage victory, another playoff point to that Napa Auto Parts machine as we exit turn 4 to the line. P3, a very, very strong stage number 1. Lap traffic definitely helped us there. I don't think we had a top 5 car, but the lap traffic just allowed us to get into that top 5. As you see, Larson fades way down the order. He's not even in the top 10, I don't think. Yeah, Larson has dropped to P11. Abysmal ending there for him in stage number 1. We would make quite a few adjustments here because the car was pretty loose, so you can see, going up on wedge, going down on tire pressures, and hoping that that's going to help us quite significantly, because I definitely noticed the car was not only getting loose, it was getting concerningly loose there at the end of the stage. So we come in P3, we exit P3, we get back underway for stage 2, right on that rear bumper of Chase Elliott, a dominant stage 1 for the pole sitter. Now Hamlin just behind myself, LaJoy on my outside. I was surprised by LaJoy's pace. Based off the couple of opening laps that we saw from him, I thought he would be honestly a car that was going to run, 20th, but here he is. He's fighting back as the run gets longer. In stage 1 it did anyways. So here he goes, passing us on the outside. Ross Chastain to my right rear quarter panel, as well as we exit turn 2. What is he capable of doing now? He's looking for win number 2 on the season. We've only seen one multi-time winner this season, of course, being the 9 of Chase Elliott. And other other than that, it's been new winners, the whole way through, including Denny Hamlin just last episode in Richmond after he had that restart drama in overtime with his teammate of Martin Truex Jr. So we exit turn 4, now actually using that outside again. Actually, I was out of turn 2 right there. But yeah, using that outside again, just trying to build up the momentum on the outside. This is when I'm most confident in the pace in the car, but that all gets eliminated when a car like Corey LaJoie jumps up in front of you because you're just so much more limited. So we kind of got stuck here for a brief moment, diving back down to the inside, seeing what I can do. New leader as well, the 17 of Chris Buescher, out in front at this point, and he was driving away from Chase Elliott, looking to get RFK to victory lane here today as we dive to the outside again of LaJoie, trying to make this work, but I was really struggling to actually complete the pass on the outside, which is not quite normal for me at Bristol, but eventually I do, as now crash behind us, and that's Kyle Larson into the outside while the rear tire blew out in the number 5 with some big damage on both ends of the car. The caution's gonna fly, and that's gonna bring nobody to the pit lane aside from Kyle Larson, so we would just immediately rack them, stack them, get ready to go back racing here from row number 2 on the outside after just completing that pass on Corey LaJoie. Now, you can see Elliott as well got the lead back by the time the caution came out here as we go down into 1 and 2. Up in the top 10, Alex Bowman, Austin Cindric, Ryan Blaney. Penske Racing has had a bit of a down start to the season. There's been some talk that they might be looking to purchase one of those charters from Stewart Haas Racing come to the season's end, so they could be looking at expanding to 4 cars. Who could be a candidate to go to a 4th car for Penske? We'll have to wait and see and find out as the season develops. Now is a little bit of contact there on the door of the 27. No harm, no foul. Chastain, though, from 3rd to the lead on the restart here with 13 to go on the stage. Lap traffic should not play an issue, but I would get stuck on the outside again. I just couldn't pass on this outside early on, and I would have to eventually settle in behind Corey LaJoie, and that allowed the 9, the 17, the 1 to all just drive away here. So we settle in P5, and I'm desperately trying to make this outside work, in my favor and move my way forward, because when they cover the inside, I can't pass them, and the outside just wasn't quite working. So it felt almost like a next-gen short track race where it's just really hard to pass. The right side, I could use, a different lane, which was nice, and finally, as we come through to 10 to go on the stage, we get the run we need through 1 and 2. It does kind of take a few laps to really get that outside, rolling, and we were dead even still down this back straightaway with the 27 who's just holding on very strong, and actually I get into the outside wall, but I still get enough momentum down the straightaway that we clear the 27 into turn 1. 9 laps to go in this second stage here, and it looks like it's going to go in the direction of Ross Chastain now as Chris Buescher in the sandwich between the 2 drivers that already have wins this season, and then of course they're being chased by myself in the Daytona 500 winner of the season, Corey LaJoie, but he would get passed on the inside by the 19 of Martin Truex Jr. The caution's gonna fly again, and we're all going to stay out, and you can see some smoke pouring out of the back of a car up there. Couldn't quite tell who it was, but we could pit, cruise to the end of the stage. We've done that once this season, but I want stage points here to just kind of be in the safe side. So I'd stay out just like everybody else here, and we're going to have this 4-lap dash. We're back underway. It's a good start for the 17, and even better once I give him a shove into turn 1. He's 3/4 of a car length ahead, but not clear of the 1. So Chastain has some life. I slide on the exit of 2. Elliott and myself nearly come together there, contact just about on the exit of that corner, but Chastain already clear. Buescher way up the track on the exit of 4. That opens the door for that number 9 to get back into the second place hunt here. Here comes Truex and JGR as a whole, because Hamlin and Bell are lined up behind him. I'm going to dive down in between the 19 and the 11. Sorry, that's not Bell. That's the yellow blob of Logano who's coming up into the mix, and I can confirm that atrocity of a paint scheme is going to be getting changed relatively soon. And Hendrick Motorsports is going to have a whole paint scheme overhaul coming in the next episode. Tyler Reddick as well got an exciting scheme on the way that I think you guys are going to like very much. Final lap of stage 2, Logano up the inside, drag racing down the back straightaway. Chastain first, Elliott second, Truex got third, and he will hold off Buescher as we cross the line P5 in stage 2. So a little bit worse than stage 1, but overall happier with how the car was on the long run.
All right, you looked a bit better that stage. We'll continue to do some work on it.
Yeah, Zen 4. It definitely was still getting loose there, so definitely need to tighten it up still. How about my teammate of Daniel Hemrick? Got P10 in this stage, and he had so much speed in Atlanta, and then everywhere else it's just not there yet. So we are having that team meeting at Colleague, not this episode, but it will be next episode going into Martinsville, and hopefully we can get things on the right track. Dylan and Omendinger gain 3 spots and 6 spots. That puts them into the top 10. Hemrick drops out of it. We're back underway for stage number 3. Chastain, your stage 2 winner. The 2 kind of dominant cars so far to kick off the season are the 1 and the 9, and here they are running 1-2 again. Truex has been so strong as the defending Cup champ, but he just hasn't quite been able to go to victory lane. Was in position to do it in Auto Club. Late race caution, 2-lap dash or whatever it was. Elliott was able to take it away from him. We go into Richmond, dominates late, and then you get that late race caution, forces overtime. Hamlin takes it away from him. Can he maybe be on the other end this time? Take it away from somebody late in the race. We'll have to wait and see, but Chastain, Truex, 1, 2, 3rd. Busher, Elliott, 4th. As I look in my mirror, you got Hamlin, and that brown UPS machine of Daniel Suarez is creeping up into the mix as this race has gone on. LaJoy gets past me on the inside now, once again just showcasing outside. Really hard to get rolling on these opening laps. Elliott dropping back though down to 5th. Truex losing a spot now to the 17 of Chris Buescher. That 17, we got to pay attention to him. He's been sneaky all race long. He did lead some laps earlier. Now as Hamlin's going to get past me on the exit before I get into the outside wall briefly, but Hamlin doesn't stay ahead for long because he jumps to the outside, and that opened the door for me to go up the inside, and I would actually struggle, however, to pass him on the inside, just like I felt like I was struggling to pass, everywhere, especially in the early parts of the run. So I eventually did not get past that FedEx machine. Hamlin stays ahead for a 6th. Chastain leads with 48 to go. He's only got about a 3 to 4 car length lead at this point on the 17 of Buescher. And as we came to lap 80, the leader's in lap traffic now, so we're about to hit it ourselves with this group of 3rd through myself and 7th with LaJoy, Elliott, Hamlin, his teammate of Truex, and myself here now as we come through 3 and 4. You can see things starting to kind of sort itself out. Truex maybe not as strong as we had potentially thought here. He's continuing to just fade backwards, and I'm starting to put some pressure on him, and now we're dealing with the lap traffic ourselves as well. We put Todd Gilliland a lap down, but look at this mess. 3 wide, 4 position. Hamlin on the top, LaJoy middle, Truex bottom as we cross the stripe. 41 to go. Where do we go in this mess? You got Eric Almirola in the 21 Smithfield machine right there running terrible in 38th place. Then you got the SHR Ford of Harrison Burton, who left the 21 just to run 1 spot better. I don't think he was expecting SHR to go as far back as they have this season, but we passed Hamlin using that 44 car as a pick, just like we used the 44 as a pick to pass the 17 in stage 1. But we continue to navigate through. We passed we're trying to pass LaJoy, but we passed Barry and continue to run in that 6th position way up the track right there, and that opens the door for Hamlin to pass us back now as I was starting to struggle with the handling in this car again. Now we might have the longest run we've had all day long right here in stage 3. Cautions haven't been common throughout the day. Of course, we had the 2 in stage 2 with Larson going around and somebody else as well, but look at this. I'm starting to slip and slide with 32 laps to go. I was struggling, and 32 laps in Bristol is not long. 32 laps in Bristol with a terribly handling car is forever. Passing SVG, who's running pretty rough here, just inside the top 30 as he continues to try and learn short tracks in a Cup Series car. Now as we exit turn 4, smoke up ahead. Who is that? It's the 1. Chastain, who goes from leading to now an engine failure, is not going to get a second win of the day, and we just gained multiple positions because they all stacked up behind him. No caution. We move up to 4th behind LaJoy. That propels Elliott back to the lead, and I think, yes, Buescher in 2nd place still here now as we're right behind this 27 of LaJoy trying to pass his teammate of Hocevar. Now I'm sliding into the side of Hamlin as we go down the back straightaway into turn 3, and Hamlin contact with Hocevar goes for a big slide there. He was not going to be happy about that, I reckon. That's the 2nd time we've leaned on his door, not on purpose, both times, but it still has happened nonetheless. We settle out in P6, but I was struggling hard, and I was actually under pressure from the cars we just lapped of Hocevar and my former teammate of Justin Haley. The handling going away in this car. We're having a great run in P6. Buescher now to the lead here with 20 laps to go at this point now. As you can see, I continue to struggle into the outside wall at this point, and here comes 7th position in my rear view mirror. That's Daniel Suarez. He's followed by Ryan Blaney as well. So you can see into the outside wall again on the exit of turn 2, and now here comes that 99. I was struggling so hard, and we still have 26 laps to go. Only 6 laps have gone past since that 32 lap to go kind of checkpoint, nearly into the side of the 99 right there. But Suarez gets past us. Blaney gets past us, down to 8th place with 14 to go, just desperately now trying to hang on to this car. I said there was like 25 to go. That was completely inaccurate. 13 laps to go as we run up to the back of Riley Herbst, and there it goes. The car is going to go for a slide. We're going to spin on the exit of turn 2 into the inside wall, and the caution's going to fly in Bristol. Goodness gracious. And we're going to have to now come into the pit lane, and you see the damage. 13 seconds. We have a system in this career mode. 10 to 15 seconds of repairs, we have to give up 1 lap. 15 to 20 seconds is 2 laps, and then anything above that, we consider it a DNF. So we have to come in and fix the car, and we have to give up a lap to do those repairs to make it, you know, semi-realistic here. So we would lose a lap and come back out on track, and we're on the same lap, actually, as quite a few cars still. So we could get up to 15th. That's the best we can do, and that's by passing the 54 of Ty Gibbs. So, I mean, I just threw our race away. The car was driving like absolute garbage there, you know, when that crash happened, and I just struggled so hard. Hamlin actually takes the lead here late in the going, but it's not going to last for very long as we are just absolutely hauling the mail here. But the 17 of Buescher would retake the lead of this race. In second place, Tyler Reddick drove around everybody in front of him from about P10 on the restart to get up to second. It was an absolute masterclass drive as I was continuing to just pass as many cars as I could and just bring it home at this point. So a really disappointing end to a track where I thought we were going to be fighting for a win. Final lap underway. We are on the lap down, of course. So the 17 of Chris Buescher is about to join the new winners club of this season as I nail the wall on the exit of 2. Buescher wins, and Bristol Larson passes Elliott at the line, or out of 4, down to P6 for Elliott in what was a dominant first half of the race for the number 9, and it's only P15. Another race where we ran top 10 and didn't get a top 10 to show for it. Reddick, Suarez second and third, and you see the rest of the order. There are some disappointing days for drivers that ran good early. LaJoy didn't even get a top 10. How about Byron way down there in the mid-20s? This wasn't a good one for him, and Chastain and Jones out. How did Larson not, you know, end up out of the race with the massive crash he had? I don't know. But yeah, there's the finishing order. We'll take a look at the